Hey, it's me, MLB. This is chapter 94 of Touched. This one is titled Chit Chat. I wasn't allowed to contact you, and Hawk started, but was interrupted by her arm around him while she still held on to Hiyoko with the other. You choked up a little at seeing them embrace for the first time in what you knew to be was ages. Come in, he finally said in an emotionally strained voice. Please, stay for dinner at least. Oh, I don't want to intrude. Mum, I'm cooking. It's fine. All I ever wanted to do was help you out. That's why I left and joined the program, so I could send you money, he said as he turned and walked quickly towards you. So let me make you food tonight, okay? He called over his shoulder. You looked at his mum, and she was smiling fondly at his retreating form. I'll cook tonight, baby. You and Mum just relax, yeah? He added as he walked past you to the kitchen. You said nervously as you watched him quickly pull pans and cooking utensils out of the drawers. Are we having chicken? His mum asked as she walked over to the lounge and sat down, flopping a very tired little Hiyoko on the ground. You stood there awkwardly, not knowing what to do, and just randomly picked your nails. Yin, come have a seat, his mum said, turning to you and giving you a warm smile. Hawks looked up and smiled at you. Okay, he said softly as you shyly walked over and sat down on the lounge, leaning down to pass a toy to Hiyoko. Oh, I should put his brace back on, you said as you stood up. No need, Yin. He's too tired to try and fly now, and plus he needs to learn that flying is for outside and not inside, so every time he tries to fly indoors you need to reprimand him, Hawks' mum said with a nod, her wise golden eyes peering at you. That was the rule in our house, Hawks said from the kitchen. No flying in the house or I'll take Endeavour away. Endeavour? You asked, confused. Yes, Keigo was, and probably still is, a big Endeavour fan, Mrs. Takami said with a small chuckle. He had an Endeavour figurine as a child. Really? You asked as you looked over at Hawks. Guilty, he said with a lopsided smile as he continued to move about the kitchen. What was Hawks like as a child? You asked his mum curiously. No, wait, he's probably still exactly the same as now. Mrs. Takami laughed. Oh, I have stories, she said deviously. Hey, now don't go telling embarrassing stories, Mum, Hawks said with a laugh. Isn't that my job? She replied with a melodic chuckle. You smiled and she looked from Hawks back to you. He was a quiet child, a thinker. You never knew what he was brewing up in that brain of his, she said with a loving sparkle in her eye. Okay, so he hasn't changed much then, you commented as you smirked across at him. He's not quiet now though, but you still have no idea what he's thinking. His mum laughed. You seem quiet yourself, Yin. How did you and Key meet? She asked. Your heart rate spiked and you stuttered out an answer. Well, it's not very interesting, he said with a nervous laugh. Work. We met at work. You met at work? She asked. Are you a hero too? No, I was the payroll officer, he said with a smile. And I used to walk her to her boss's office each afternoon because I knew she was too shy to walk there on her own, Hawks added as he put oil in the frying pan. He's always put others before himself, Hawks' mum commented to you. Yes, he's always protected me, he said with a smile. I'm actually having a conversation with his mum and I haven't said anything stupid yet. Yay! You screamed internally with excitement. And now you have the most beautiful little one, his mum said as she leaned down and passed Hiyoko another toy. The Flying Nugget, you said happily. Hawks' mum burst out laughing. Is that his hero name? Or, she asked amid chuckles. Oh, how embarrassing. I shouldn't have called him that, you thought with a grimace. That's going to stick. I like it, Hawks called from the kitchen. Yep, definitely going to stick now, you groaned internally. As the night continued on, you got more and more comfortable around Hawks' mum. She seemed to be an even-tempered, lovely lady, and you could see that Hawks took after her a lot, personality and looks-wise. After Hiyoko went to bed, you, Hawks and Mrs. Takami arranged Hiyoko's schedule. I'll take him for a fly in the mornings and you can take him in the afternoons, she said to Hawks. He needs to build up wing strength so that he can hold his wings up or they'll end up dragging on the ground and he could damage them. Hawks nodded. We'll do our best to make sure he builds his back muscles up. Make him a better version of me because mine aren't broad enough, Hawks said as he flexed his wings. I'm sure I could have fixed that if I'd trained. I didn't realise there was going to be so much work involved when it came to owning a pair of wings, he said quietly. I know I'm flightless, but I'll do my best to be strict with his flying lessons. You're a great mum already, Yin, Mrs. Takami said lovingly. Hiyoko is lucky to have such wonderful parents. The months flew by and Hiyoko learned that flying was for outdoors only. You'd been very strict with that rule, and because he was flying more now, he burned up lots of energy and became a very chilled and easy to look after baby. He loved Nan and looked forward to her coming to taking him flying each morning. Ready for Grandma? You'd ask and his face would light up. He was 11 months old now and just started to try and walk. Sometimes he would try and cheat and use his wings to lift him up, but you'd sharply reprimand him and he'd tuck them back in again. As the date of his first birthday arrived, he sat down with Hawks to make plans. "Who should we invite?" you asked him one night. "Well, Bri, Uncle Anthony, Norman and Mum, definitely," Hawks said as he made himself and you a hot drink. "Okay, well, I'd like to invite my mum too, and maybe Auntie Ray," you said thoughtfully. "Should we invite the other Todorokis as well?" "I've already invited Uncle Staple," Hawks said with a smirk. "Who is Uncle Staple?" you asked, confused. You hadn't been there for the conversation between him and Darby. "Toya," he said with a laugh. "Oh," you replied. "Yeah, okay, I get it now," he added with a chuckle. "I'm fine as long as he doesn't try and kidnap me and Hiyoko." "He won't, I promise," Hawk said with a smile. "Is he coming with everyone else?" you asked curiously. "Because he's a villain, so like..." "Well, I invited him and he said he wouldn't come, but I know he will. He'll probably wait till everyone's gone though," Hawk said as he picked up the drinks and brought them over to you. "Okay, so that'll be 12 people, including you, me and Hiyoko," you said, adding everyone up. "Sounds good to me," Hawks commented as he took a sip of his drink. "It'll be a low-key event," you said as you took a sip of your own drink. "Hiyoko will have his nap in the afternoon anyway, so maybe if we do something mid-morning?" And there ends chapter 94. Stay tuned for chapter 95.